Is this the ultimate Ruger RXM? All right, ready?
Yep.
All right, to start out here, everything is clear. There's nothing in there. Magazine's over here, empty and safe. This firearm is clear. Now today, talking about the Ruger RXM. Initially, I wanted to believe the hype behind this handgun. For those of you who don't know, this is supposed to be a Glock 19. Hence this grip module with the 15 round capacity. I don't know if you can see where it says 15. It's supposed to be a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone. I do not like the Glock 19. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Seffry, why would you buy this then? I bought it because I got in the hype. Everybody said, hey, this thing is amazing, this thing is amazing, this thing is amazing. So I figured, hey, you know what? My local guys got it. I'm going to mess around, give it a try. I liked that it was already optic ready, actually had metal iron sights, right? Tritium front. I mean, realistically, it seemed like it would check a lot of bells. Now, initially when I got this, it had its rolling style trigger, which for someone like me, it didn't really work. Not for any reason other than my style of pulling the trigger, which is to prep, which is to pull to the wall, and then sit on the wall until I'm ready to fire. And there's no actual wall on the original RXM trigger.
I mean, she's definitely a functioning firearm for sure. And if you go slow with this trigger is manageable. I can't manage it because I like to prep the trigger. So
in dry fire, perfectly fine. But once I put it under a fire, I wasn't with it. But thankfully, there was a remedy.
This trigger, slow is decent. But if you try to put any speed in it, at least for me, then I'm not crazy about it. So just dry fire, it feels good. Live fire don't feel so good.
Now, all this being said, for those of you who aren't understanding what I'm saying, I like to pull to a wall. Whoop! That's a light, baby. Pull to a wall. Once I'm at that wall, I like to then be able to go, now I'm on target. Bang. With the initial RXM trigger, you would go here, and bang was in there. There's no defined wall, just like this. It was just all mush until it randomly said bang.
We're gonna play with it, so really do not like this trigger. See, that's why I don't like it. I'm like, where's my poop? That was accidental.
The other area where it fell short for me was in this grip. As you can see, my pinky is right there on the very end of this grip. This is the compact grip. I just was not crazy about it. Now, I know some of you guys are like, Seffry, you bought a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone, and you're surprised it was a Glock 19 Gen 3 clone. And yes, I did know what I was buying, and it may not meet most of my standards, but I'm also a hopeful person. And even with what I would call its shortcomings, you can maybe tell from some of the clips that I shot it just fine. Where it did meet my standards was its price, its modularity, and the future potential. I say that because this firearm has a fire control insert. Without disassembling, I can't really show you, but for those of you who know firearms, it's basically to say your trigger housing is the actual firearm. Not this grip, not this slide, but your trigger housing. Now, with it being that fire control insert, it allowed me to swap from this 19 size frame to this 17 size frame, or I guess you could say 45 size frame because it still has the 19 length slide. That's to say a 4-inch barrel as opposed to the Glock 17, which I believe is a 4.5-inch barrel. Once I put this larger frame on here and installed a Timney trigger, I don't know if you can see that that's a Timney, but it absolutely changed this firearm for the better. Now, with all these changes, this firearm is now something to brag about. With the 4-inch barrel, the 17 round capacity, you have the FCI so that you can change your grip sizes. It's got a better grip angle, it's optic ready slide, it's got Glock's parts compatibility, and Nothing's been said yet, but there is the possibility that Magpul makes this to where you can have it as a PDW, kind of like the Flux Raider. Now, with all that being said, what more could you ask for in a firearm that only costs 400 cans of beans and weens? I got to be careful what I say here. Or 900 once you've got it set up the way I've got it, with an optic, a light, an upgraded trigger, and a full-size grip. I also did not know, but I did see recently, that now Ruger is selling this as a full size, so you can get the 4.5-inch barrel if you wanted, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And I saw that in February, by the time you're watching this, it may already be out, Magpul is going to release the subcompact, so it'll be right there above my thumb, so it'll be Glock 26 size grip. Granted, it will still have the 4-inch barrel. So initially taking this thing out to the range, I have to say I was thoroughly underwhelmed. This firearm in the compact with that rolling style trigger, for me, not a good firearm. I want to say I put 800, maybe 900 at the absolute most rounds through it in its compact format, and it just was not for me. Now, once I had this set up and I got it to the range, I became more and more surprised at how well it shoots, how manageable it is under recoil. Normally I'd steer clear of the new stuff. SIG taught me that we're just the beta testers. But with the RXM, I couldn't wait. I mean, at this point, I'm glad I didn't. Mainly because I'm extremely happy with this final product. Nice. And hopefully they may release that PDW system I was talking about, like the Flux Raider. But also, Ruger stood up for law-abiding citizens, which for me was phenomenal. For those of you who aren't in the know, Glock got sued, I believe, by California and bent the knee and was like, well, we'll do a Gen V and we'll make it to where it can't accept switches. Criminals are the only ones using switches. To insinuate that I can't have something because a criminal may use it incorrectly, that's not fair to me if I'm following the law. A criminal may use a vehicle to escape. That doesn't mean I shouldn't have a vehicle. You shouldn't take my firearm because somebody else is an idiot. But jumping straight to the point here, not trying to waste too much of y'all's time, is something like the Ruger RXM for you? Well, that all really depends. Do you like Glock style? Do you like modularity? Do you want something that has a future and isn't going to break the bank? Well, if so, there's really only one way for you to find out. I'm going to tell you from my experience, putting about probably another 800, maybe 1,000 rounds through it in this configuration, this firearm is not only accurate, fun to shoot, but absolutely amazing. And the simple fact that it has such potential to me is just phenomenal. I mean, you can't go wrong with optic ready. You can't go wrong with modularity. I do have an O-light on here. I'm sure somebody will clown, even though it's like, I'm on a Glock clone. You're amazed I don't have the most high-end stuff on this. Really only one way to find out if something like this is for you, though. That's to get out, go to your local range, try it. For 400 bones, you can't really go wrong. That being said, if you don't know, now you know.